In part 2 of your Zentangle project, we're going to watercolor your copied design, and I'm going to show you how to finish and frame your project. Here are some of the materials you're going to need for painting. You'll need a variety of paintbrushes, a paper towel, cup of water, and whatever we have on hand. We'll have some watercolor in palettes, we'll have some liquid watercolor, and we'll also have some watercolor pencils, which are really fun to use. I want you to use all the colors that are available in this project. The more colorful, the better. That is all the primaries, the secondaries, and as many tertiaries as you can manage to mix. Play with the materials that we have, mix and match them too. You'll get a lot of experience, and you'll also get a really nice effect. Here I'm using some of the watercolor pencils. I'm coloring in the space, and then I'm going over them with another color and blending them. And when you add water, they magically turn into paint. It's good for all the little tiny small areas. A really great trick that you're going to want to use is to move around your Zentangle a lot. So paint in one area and then move to another area. That'll give the watercolor time to dry, because if you start painting right next to wet watercolor, it's going to end up blending together and you may get something that you don't like. So here I went over every other stripe of my rainbow effect, and I'll come back later and paint in the rest of it. Here I'm painting in the rest of the rainbow design. You can go back in even after it's dry and paint over some other places or add in if you want to. Here are the materials for finishing. Really all you're going to need is a paintbrush, a piece of cardstock, and glue, plus the other things that we used at the beginning of the project, like the ruler and the pencil. So line up the ruler with the edges of your Zentangle and draw a line so you know where to cut. If you just freehand it, you're probably going to end up cutting into your project or having too much white on the edges. You want to look as professional and clean as possible. I realized that I had some paper left over on the edge here, and so I went back in and trimmed it up, which was a good idea because it squared it up. So you're going to have a piece of construction paper for your background or your frame. Pick a color that you think goes really well with your Zentangle, and any way you orient your Zentangles is fine. Just choose the way you think it looks best, and it will be. So when you glue them on, you're going to add a lot of glue on the back. I want you to use liquid glue. Don't use glue sticks because your Zentangle will fall right off that construction paper. Smooth out the glue snakes. I'm using a piece of cardstock here. That'll keep your paper from getting wrinkly when you put it onto your background. Press down hard to make sure it sticks really well, especially on the edges. For this piece, I'm going to show you another way that you can glue. I'm actually going to put glue right onto my paintbrush. You can also take the top off of the lid and dip your paintbrush into the glue. This is a good way to get edges and make sure that there's glue on every single corner all the way to the end of the paper. You can also add glue straight onto the paper and then go back over it with a paintbrush and smooth it out to make sure that you get all those edges really clean. Go find a heavy book that will cover the entire project. Put it on top for about 15 or 20 minutes to make sure that the glue sticks really well and everything dries flat. And then when you take the book off, you're ready to go. Write your name and your block on the back in a pencil or a silver Sharpie or a white colored pencil for the display.